Hi, I'm Andrew Stevenson, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can make mandalas in minutes using Affinity Designer 2. So here we are in a new document in Affinity Designer 2. Now in this way to make a mandala, we're just going to create one segment of a 16 segment mandala, and then we're going to copy it and reverse it, flip it, mirror it to create a completed picture. Now there is another way to do it using symbols, but I'll save that for another video. The first thing to do in this technique is to draw a guide, a 16 segment guide. So to do that, we shall grab the pen tool. I'm just going to draw one straight line, and then I'll move it in the middle if it's not there already. There you go. Now I'm going to duplicate this line and use it to create the different segments. So with Ctrl J, there you go, that's a new line produced. I'm now going to rotate this along the centre until it's 1/16 of the way, until it gives us a segment which is 1/16 of a circle. And the easiest way to do that is to do it in the transform panel. Click the centre node there, and in the rotation slot type in 360 divided by 16. And there we go. And we'll just power duplicate this now all the way around. Ctrl J after you've made the first adjustment, and it will remember the rotation you've made and then increment it onto the next duplication. It's called power duplication, and it's a really good feature of Affinity Designer 2. If you have any bother with it working, it's best to, like when I did that first line there, instead of Control C, Control V to copy and paste, I just duplicated it. The odd time I have copy and pasted it and then it wouldn't power duplicate around. I don't know why, but yeah, if it doesn't work, just try it again. I'm now going to just group all of these lines together. Select them all and Ctrl G, and I'm going to reduce the opacity down to 25. Now is the fun part. Now we're going to design one part, one segment of the mandala. I'm going to use the pen tool for this, and I'll zoom in. So now we're just going to fill in the space from this line to this line, and we're going to use that to repeat in every other segment, and then we're going to flip it and then repeat it in the gaps that are left. But we'll do that when we get to that slot. So you just fill in this area with patterns. I'll do a little hump there, do a couple of straight lines. Maybe that can be like half a heart. Maybe you can even add your like shapes in there. Just draw a little circle. Maybe draw like a bit of a cloudy sort of design here, or a bit wobbly. There we go. So that's one segment of the mandala. Now it might not look like much at the minute, but once we start filling in the gaps, it'll turn to something magical. Obviously, the more time you take in designing this, the better it'll be. I'm just dashing through this. It's important that these designs don't cross into the other segments, so I'll just need to sort this out. Pulling on that handle there. I think everything else is fine. Yep. So now I'm just going to select all of these new curves we've made and group them together. Control G. Now because I want to rotate this pattern into these gaps, I need to change the origin transform point. So by clicking on this button here, you can see that if I were to copy and paste this, which I will, just duplicate it. So there's two groups now. If I were to rotate it, it would rotate around that center point. We don't want that. We want to rotate from here. So I'll just drag this down to there. So now I'll rotate around this point here. So I'll hold down shift while I rotate, and that increments round in 15 degrees, which luckily slots perfectly in there. And I'll just control J all the way around. So that's one side of the mandala done. To do the other side, we'll select the original point. We will duplicate it. I'll flip it horizontally, and I'm going to drag it just in a straight line to the left. So hold down shift and drag that along, and now you can see the pattern's taken shape. So just deselect and reselect that, just so it's if I was just to duplicate it from here, it would still have like a hangover from the transformation from there. So I'll duplicate this again now with it being reselected. Control J. I'll drag the transform point to the middle, and now I'll rotate this round. There we go. And Control J around the rest. I'll just hide the guide. And that is a very simple mandala. Doesn't take long to make. You can see the more time you take, the more intricate you can make it. This was very simple, but there's interesting bits to colour in. The downside with using this technique is that once you've made this pattern, you can't really edit it. You can change some things, like I'll just group that all together for simplicity's sake. You can change the colour of the line if you want to, but we don't want to because it's for a black and white colouring book. You can change the thickness of the line. You can change the brush stroke being used. Again, you've just got to be mindful of what your use is, what you're going to use it for. But that's pretty much it. If you want to add an extra design element to it, say some sort of embellishment here, or a little frilly edge or something like that, you can't do that using this technique. The technique I'll show you in the next video, you can, because we'll be using symbols. I don't want to get into explaining that in this video, but with a symbol, you can change one segment of the mandala, and that will copy through each segment. You kind of draw it in real time, rather than this where we made one segment, then copied it and pasted it. You couldn't really see what the pattern was going to be like. Like, I didn't know this was look like this until it was done. But that's for another video. So that is it for today. Just a simple tutorial on how to make simple mandalas using Affinity Designer 2. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.